activities at home. So this month is National Bird Feeding Month. So I thought it'd be really fun in Kidz Korner to make bird feeders. So you'll see that activity later in the month, but for now, you will get to experience birds in a different way. So in your kit, you're going to get some yarn, you're going to have some instructions, and you're going to have some paper plates and some paper. So I'm not going to do all of the activities for you, but we'll just kind of walk through and give you a little demo as to what's going to come. So you'll just read all the information on here. We're going to make a bird's nest using a paper plate. You should go out and gather some materials to create a bird's nest, and I'll tell you all about that here on the first page. But I know it snowed, and there's lots of snow right now, so you might have a tricky time finding nature things to put in your nest like a bird would build. So you might have to get creative here. Maybe you want to go for a walk in the snow, and maybe you'll see some old leaves on trees or some branches or things laying around, or maybe you just have some things in your home that you can use to make a nest. But the idea is to really think about how birds do make their nest, and you're going to create that on a paper plate. There's 2 pieces of yarn in there because birds like to find all kinds of things out in our world, and they might find hair. I know birds at my house used to take hair from our horses, and they would put that in their nest. So they might have, like, maybe you dropped a ribbon or a shoestring or some yarn outside. They'll find it and stick it in their nest. So I just have a couple little pieces of yarn in your kit that you can incorporate in your nest. But again, look around your house and see what you might be able to add to it. And then there's questions on the page to help you think about birds' nests and how they build them and how they make them sturdy and all of that good stuff. So that's on the first page. The second activity is talking about birds' bones. And there's a reason that birds fly, and it's because of their bones. They're hollow. So you're going to learn about that on the second page, and that's where the 3 pieces of paper come in, because you're going to roll the pieces of paper to make them like hollow bones. So the instructions tell us to take a piece of paper and just roll it up. And you're going to put some tape on it to hold it. And then you'll be able to stand these to make them look like bones. So there's going to be 3 tubes, and you're going to balance a plate on top, and then you're going to add some weight to the top. It recommends that you use pennies or coins or something to put on and see how many you can add, but you might even be able to put something heavier like a book or something. So be creative, look around your house and see what you can use to see how much weight you could put on some bird's bones before it tumbles. So that's our second activity. And the third activity is really just learning about how to start bird watching, or some people call it birding. So it just talks about how you can get out in nature and watch birds, learn how to identify birds, maybe learn how to hear their calls, because they each have their own special language. So you can learn about that. There's some games you can play, and there's even a tally sheet that I included for you to go out in nature and see if there are birds that are sitting or walking or flying or swimming, and you just want to keep track of that. How many birds did you see maybe in a half an hour? Maybe you go on a little nature walk around town or in your yard and just see how many birds you can spot. It's like an I Spy game. You can be competitive. Try it with your brothers or sisters or your parents or grandparents, or grab a friend and see if you can find more birds than somebody else. Or make a guess, which is you can predict how many birds you think you're going to see sitting, and put that guess somewhere, maybe on your sheet, and then see how many you actually did spot sitting. So you can do it a whole bunch of different ways. And at the other side of the tally sheet, there's just a little list of library books that we have here on birds, and I have a couple here. You see that are in the kids library. There's also some bird books in the adult section too. So if you want to learn more about different kinds of birds, you want to definitely check the adult section, because they have big books on all different kinds of birds in our area. And there is a magazine that we subscribe to, and it's called Birds and Blooms, and that's down on the first floor when you first come in the library. It's just along the wall, and it's on the very first shelf. And we always have a magazine that's sitting out, but you can lift up the magazine rack, and there's more underneath. So if you're really interested in seeing birds and learning about them, that's something else that you can look at. So I hope you enjoy this month's STEAM activities. Don't forget to come in here. They're going to be hanging here all month long. So starting next Friday, which is the 12th, I hope it's the 12th, they'll be hanging here in Kidz Korner. Like I said, just come and take one and take it home with you and start investigating birds. And also be on the lookout for the bird feeder this month. It's going to be here in Kidz Korner so that you can maybe attract some birds right to your house, and then you can do some investigating that way. So I hope you enjoy it. Each month we'll have new activities, and they'll be right here in Kidz Korner. So I look forward to seeing you. Have a great day.